Hey everyone, it's Kelsey. This is Essentially Book. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. And today it is blizzarding and it's crazy cold and just awful where I live. So I'm doing a lot of filming. So I'm starting a few videos today based on what I'm reading. The very first video that I'm working on is books that I have on NetGalley that I haven't gotten to. I went to the library a few weeks ago and just was scanning the shelves in their new release section and found 3 romances that I have on my NetGalley that I just haven't gotten to yet. And I figured those would be really fun to read, both as physical and on my Kindle. And it was just an added push to get that reading done. So this was not on any TBR, it wasn't planned, it was more of an impulse. So the 3 books that I picked up were It Happened One Fight by Maureen Lee Langer. This is an old Hollywood set romance that I just thought was really intriguing, and it came out in June. And then The Last Word by Katie Birchall. I think this one also came out in May or June of last year in 2023. And this one is about 2 journalists who are competing for a job in a newsroom, I believe. And then the final one, which I've seen a few people talk about, is The Long Game by Elena Armas. And this one was described to me as goats, Ted Lasso, and girls soccer. My husband coaches girls soccer. We love Ted Lasso, and if I could have a goat farm, I totally would. I'm obsessed with baby goats. So this one just sounded really fun. I'm actually going to be reading this one for a prompt from Chantel Reads a Lot. Her Read Her Shelves challenge this year. The very first month I need to find a book that has a cat on the cover, and there's 2 cats on this cover. And while this is a library book, I do have it on my Kindle, so it fits for reading books off my shelf, so I'm pretty excited about that. I will say I've cheated a little bit and I completely binged It Happened One Fight the past couple days because it's been so cold here and awful. We've had 2 major snowstorms, so I've been able to binge read a lot of things, and it's been really fun. So this book is inspired by a lot of old Hollywood movies. So It Happened One Night, and the main male character in this book, he's inspired by Clark Gable. The female character is based off of Joan Crawford and Bette Davis, and her name is Joan Davis. The women, Love on the Run, Possess, Merrily We Go to Hell, Dark Victory, and Mildred Pierce are the the movies that inspired this book. And this is about 2 movie stars who they filmed in a ton of stuff together, and they've had some misunderstandings in the past that make the female character Joan look bad. And it talks about misogyny within old Hollywood, how as a woman you can mess up once and your career is ruined, but as a man you can be a rake, you can be a drunk, you can do all these things wrong and people will still love you. And it is a romance about that. I gave it 3 stars and I liked it. I think where it really fell flat for me was in the middle, and then just the pining, not even the pining, the mopiness of the male character really annoyed me. I don't really love the whole trope where it's like, no one could ever love me. I am from backwater Indiana. Nobody could ever love me if they knew who I really was, because it just doesn't work for me. And that was a big trope here. So didn't work for me in that sense, but I did really like the commentary as far as Hollywood. I also liked all the nods to movies and some of that old Hollywood feel. You know, they make a lot of nods about how when the 2 characters are kissing for the movie they're filming, they have to be chaste in a way, and he's trying to feel her up, and they're not allowed to do that, right? So there's some kind of funny call outs like that, but it was fun. It was a 3-star read. I think I will get started with The Long Game next, and I will just check in with you as we go around. I will show you how awful it is outside in this video too. Hey everybody. I went out for dinner with a friend tonight, and now I'm home in bed. I just got done doing bedtime with my son. Bedtime's taking forever. He won't let us, we have to lay down with him until he falls asleep, so we're trying to wean off of that, but it just takes forever. So about 45 minutes later, I can now sit down and read. So I am starting the next book in my NetGalley romance series. Books that I have that I just haven't gotten to. So backlist NetGalley. But I'm going to read The Long Game by Elena Armas. I did not realize she wrote The Spanish Love Deception and I think The American Roommate Experiment. So I know she's a beloved author. This will be her 3rd book. And it is a soccer romance, which I'm excited about because my husband coaches soccer and we're very big into soccer in this house. Pretty excited. I just started the first chapter, and basically the main character Adeline. She went viral for having an altercation with the team's mascot, and right now I'm just figuring out what that means. Her dad owns the soccer team, and she does, I think, their PR and like media, so it's a bad look for the soccer club. That's all I know. Right now I'm really liking the tone of it, but I haven't even finished the first chapter. So that's what I'm starting tonight, and I will update you as we go along. Hey everyone, so a check-in. I am continuing on in my like rom-com series here. So I'm kind of in a reading slump right now in a way because I'm a mood reader. So I read a ton of books at the same time. Usually I'm reading a romance novel, an audiobook, a nonfiction book, and then another book usually, or like I can read a lot of things at once. Sometimes I'm in the middle of like 6 or 7 things, but they're different genres. So it's easy for me to like be like, okay, what am I in the mood for? Here's what I'm gonna read. I've always been that way as a reader. My book stand is always, static. My book stand is always full of books. And that's just how my brain works. It's fine. It's probably why I read so broadly too, is that so I'm kind of in a reading slump except for the Throne of Glass series, which I'm totally hooked on right now. I'm on book 5, I think. So I'm 5 and 6. I'm doing the tandem read of Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. And so that's primarily getting all my attention, but I want to actually get videos up for you guys because I've just been in a season. We've just had some personal family matters going on lately that have made my immediate family is fine. I'm just dealing with some external family, extended family issues, and it's just been kind of mentally draining. So I want to have video content up for you, so I need to not just read Throne of Glass. Okay, so I am about a little bit, almost halfway through The Long Game by Elena Armas, and I'm liking it, but not loving it. I would say of the 3 books that I've picked up in this series, which I'll talk about the next one here in a second, I'm enjoying this one the most. I like the characters the best. I think that they're more believable. The dynamic of this girl is the daughter of the head of a football league, a soccer team in Miami, and she has like a PR debacle. And so they decide as a team that she needs to be cut off from the team for a while for PR to die down and like just get good PR. And so she is flown to like rural North Carolina to help a girls U10 soccer team, which I have a lot of questions about that. Like generally sports, if they're going to invest in their communities, generally it's like within the communities that they're a part of. So I'm a little weirded out that they flew her from Florida to North Carolina, which I know they're kind of close, but still. Supposedly in this book, North Carolina has a team that's pro. So again, I'm just struggling with that logistics, but it is what it is. And she meets this man, Cameron. And Cameron is like the Roy Kent of his soccer team, but he is done playing soccer. Still not sure about his backstory. They hilariously have a meet cute, but they don't know it's a meet cute at the time. And then like they find out they're both working with this little U10 girls soccer team. So you've got a Roy Kent character from Ted Lasso who's gruff and cusses a lot, all that coaching. And then this like Spitfire woman who is also trying to figure out like what the heck she's going to do. And it is really funny. I'm enjoying it. I'm in a slump. It's not like, I don't know. I'm just struggling right now with books. Like I'm annoyed by everybody. And I was even checking like my cycle to be like, what is wrong? Nope. I'm just annoyed with everything I've been reading that's romance of late. It's actually related because I did pick up another arc that comes out in March. Actually, I wanted like a quick hitting mass market romance. To kind of maybe help me get out of my reading slump, and I DNF'd it. It was Wild for You by Jennifer Ryan, and it's a cowboy romance. I was like, sure, this will just be fun, simple, whatever. It was like a love at first sight. Immediately, they were just basically kissing and stuff, and I'm like, that's really annoying me. So I had to DNF that. Okay, so that's just where I'm at right now. Like things are just really annoying me, and I don't know why. So I think I do think I'll like this. I need to get out of my own head. I don't know what's going on. So then because I was like having this crisis, I'm like, here, let me pick up the third one of the books that I've chosen for this series to just see how I'm feeling. So this is The Last Word by Katie Birchall, and this is about a gossip, like celebrity columnist who keeps interacting with like her past love who also works for the same news organization. And I'm not far into the romance because the thing that's annoying me about this one, because I'm just apparently struggling right now, is like I'm almost 100 pages in and we really haven't gotten to any romance. They've just had a few like awkward encounters, but nothing that makes me scream like, oh, you're in love with each other, this is going there. But the banter in this one is actually really fun, and it takes place in London too, which I just think is a fun setting. The banter is really fun between her and her friends, and she has a really like misogynistic kind of jerk of a editor who they all kind of have to like placate him, but they all like subtly undermine him, which is kind of fun. So I would say for like writing and banter, I'm also really enjoying this. We just haven't gotten to any romance yet, which is making me sad. I don't know like what my deal is, but I think because I'm really digging Throne of Glass's romance that I am really struggling with anything else. So I don't know. This could be a fail of a vlog, but it will get me some NetGalley things off my shelf. So I'm not like totally upset. Excuse me. I'm not like totally upset about this vlog or anything. Something's up with me and what I'm feeling of late for readings. Okay, I was in a really bad mood apparently yesterday. So I've changed some of my opinions. Like I had a lot of hot takes about how nothing was speaking to me. And like I was just annoyed by the romances I was reading of late. They all just seemed kind of like insta-lovey and dumb. So I finished this today and loved it. So I gave it 4 stars. I talked about yesterday how I was like really annoyed that the main soccer club was in Miami and the girl was sent to North Carolina. And in my early judgmental brain, that annoyed me because I was like, they're far apart. Most clubs stay rooted to home. Well, there's a reason, you guys. And they talk about it in the book towards the end. So, past day spicy Kelsey needed to just not be so spicy. And that's like kind of a mantra for life, I think. Don't judge things until you know the full extent of what's going on. So yeah, I really loved this. Roy Kent character named Cam here, and he's a big old cinnamon roll once we get to the end. I do think that there was one part of this romance. I did really like the romance. There's really good mental health representation in this book. And I really resonated with the main female character for that. They were in very close quarters a lot and clearly had feelings for each other. And this was very slow burn. And a lot of their interactions, it like shocked me that they hadn't even yet kissed. And so there were a few times I had to flip back to be like, wait, they haven't kissed yet. So like the steam is high, but there's like minimal sexy time until the very end. Like I would say they don't even kiss until like 75% in this book, which is really hard to believe for the relationship that they have. And so I don't know, that just kind of was jarring to me, but it worked ultimately in the end. I did really have a lot of fun with this. The pet characters are kind of funny in this book. Usually that's kind of a trope that annoys me. There's very few books that do that well. And there's kind of a found family vibe. There will be a sequel for this book, and I'm really excited. It's going to be Josie and Matthew's story. I'm going to go see if I can't request it on NetGalley. But again, had a lot of fun. 4 stars. I shouldn't be so judgy. So now I will finish with the last word. Okay, so I'm waiting for my bread to bake, but I finished the last word today. And this is by Katie Birchall. I think it's funny that last year I was approved for 2 books called The Last Word, one by Taylor Adams and then this one. And this is about 2 journalists who work in close quarters with each other and kind of like a second chance romance, enemies to lovers. When I first filmed this video, remember I kind of was in like a PMS-y mood. And so nothing was making me happy and I had a lot of problems with everything. This book took a little bit to like really dig in and like get to the romance, but it had to do that so that there was a catalyst for putting these 2 back together. So it worked for me. It's pretty closed door for a romance if that's something that you care about. It's not as steamy as The Long Game, but I did just really enjoy this one. The main character, Harper, is just kind of this like scatterbrained, all over the place celebrity columnist. And Ryan, the hero, is the features editor at this magazine. And they have a past together, but he's the more like put together, organized person. And how they came together was really believable to me. And I really liked their relationship. I think the downfall for this book for me was the conflict that happened. I definitely sided with Harper on this one in the story because I didn't like what he did twice. And I don't know, I don't like the miscommunication is kind of not my favorite thing in romance. And it's like one of the most popular conflicts. And this one especially, like I was kind of like, dude, you're dumb. This has already happened before. What are you thinking? And I think in my personal experience, I would have done what Harper had done and handled it the way Harper wanted it to be handled. So I think that was the downfall for me, but this was really fun. It's set in London, so it has a different tone as far as a romance, but I actually really enjoyed it. And I think it's still a 3-star. Of the 3 books that I read in this series, what happened, It Happened One Fight, The Last Word, and The Long Game. The Long Game was by far my favorite. And I'm kind of excited that this video just happened on a whim because now I have 3 books off my NetGalley shelf that I also got as physical library books. So it was just a fun way to quickly read through these books because I was able to read these at night in my Kindle and then read them physically just for fun. So that was kind of a win for getting 3 NetGalley books off my shelf. And I'm always appreciative of all of you. I know this was kind of a mess of one, and also there's been a delay in me getting videos up. It's just been kind of a season personally in my life. I'm back hopefully to having weekly videos coming up. But I do just want to be transparent that there are some things going on personally for me right now that are with like extended family. It's not my immediate family, but that might cause delays in footage coming up. And this is always a hobby. This isn't like a job. So I'm going to do things for my mental health. But I'll keep reading because that's like one constant in my life always. And I'm forever grateful for all of you. If you are new here, thanks for watching. And if you like what you see, a subscription by hitting that subscribe button would be great. But for everybody else who's been around here for a while, I'm so grateful for you. And until the next video, bye.